already. Good afternoon. My name is Tali Kest, and welcome to Schechter's Ner Tamid 2023. I look around the room today, and I'm filled with gratitude and joy. Thank you for being here and supporting the Schechter community. This afternoon's theme is the Schechter experience, and you'll see and hear firsthand the profound impact Schechter has had and continues to have on our students, families, and greater community. As co-chair along with Gail Temkin, and as a proud parent and trustee, we want to express our gratitude to you for joining us this afternoon as we celebrate what it means to be a part of this ever-growing, vibrant, and caring Schechter community. I'm happy to say that this school year, 23 new families enrolled. Many of whom are here, and welcome. We hope you enjoy the program, find it meaningful, laugh a little, maybe even cry a little too. Please join us for a dessert reception following the program. And without further ado, I would like to introduce Jason Kay, Schechter's board president and our MC for this afternoon.
Great job. Thank you, Tali. Good afternoon. And let it be decreed. Welcome, welcome, one and all, to this year's Ner Tamid. Before we get things started, I'd like to please invite the members of the 8th grade class to please approach stage right. Good, right there. That's perfect, right there. Great. A poem to start this program off? I know, please don't complain. I did the same thing just last year, so please let me explain. To be honest, I was hoping that your memories were hazy, but in truth, I guess it just comes down to the fact that I am lazy. Well, be that as it may, we have gathered here as one. We're wearing suits and ties and skirts, and our hair is in a bun. But that's not what's important, for we are here to celebrate this amazing institution that does more than educate. Schechter's an experience, and one that's multi-pronged. So many visit, and then they stay. They feel like they've belonged. To its students, Schechter gives the gift of top-notch education. Our students come away with such a sense of aspiration. They seek to be a part of our great community. They go out into this world seeking opportunity. And today, we honor 2 alums. Alumnae is the word. I was challenged to use that word by Sherry. Sorry, I'm a nerd. The Shechtman sisters are each unique, and together they're pure glory. They changed retail, they changed marketing when they opened up their story. I'll be honest though, I get confused when I'm out shopping or exchanging. Just imagine how I'd feel if that store were ever changing. Jenny was a master as she ran the operations, and she's loved by all because of her great customer relations. And Rachel, oh my God, can we all say innovative? She conceived of something that never was. Talk about creative. There's so much more we'll hear in time. There are amazing honorees, and Rachel and Jenny never forgot where they learned their ABCs. We are here today as well to honor one great volunteer. And best of all, Karen and I have the same birthday each year. You can hear her laugh. The lives of Schechter families have been shaped by Karen Tuvin. It's no wonder that each and every year more families move in. She's also a realtor, so that works really well. Because of her, the family experience is better. She's truly a blessing to our school, a one-of-a-kind go-getter. Mazel tov to our honorees, to these 3 people, each a jewel. Now please sit back, enjoy yourselves as we celebrate our school. I'd like to invite Schechter's current 8th grade class to come up here and lead us in the Star-Spangled Banner. A great community like ours comes together for both times of celebration like today, as well as during times of sorrow. Just a few weeks ago, the Ganellis family, the West Hartford community, and many all throughout the world suffered tremendously at the loss of Ilan Ganellis. The Ganellis family has long been a part of so many aspects of the West Hartford Jewish community, including Schechter. As we sing Hatikva, the hope, we remember Ilan, and we hope that one day the violence that has taken away so much from so many will come to an end. Please join for Hatikva. Please be seated. Thank you to the 8th graders. Though I'm sure we'll see you many times between now and then, on behalf of everybody in this room, I'd like to wish you a wonderful, culminating trip to Israel. Thank you all for coming out today. It is truly wonderful to be here together. Thank you to Rabbi Small and the Emanuel Synagogue and the staff and the whole community here in Emanuel for welcoming us into this beautiful building. A quick note. There is one mistake in the program. If you find it, you get a free glass of wine. Over the course of the next hour, we're going to hear about Schechter, the Schechter experience, honor one individual who has given so much to the school, honor 2 alumni who have given so much to the world, and then, in the fun, interactive part of the program, we will all have an opportunity to make an even bigger impact than we already have. The Schechter experience is one that has and continues to impact so many individuals and families. As a school, Schechter is experienced by its students. I'd like to invite you to raise your hand, raise your glass, stand up, whatever you're comfortable doing, if you are or were ever a student at the Solomon Schechter Day School of Greater Hartford. Amazing. Right, now please also continue to do so if not only were you a student at Schechter, but your child is or was as well. I want to see it. Who we got? We have Merle. Where's Dana? Where's Dana? Dana Greenberg, excellent. I told Ari Santiago I would call him out, so he falls into that category. Steve Lesham, this is not the first time we'll say your name. All right, thank you. Please, if you're standing, you can please be seated. Thank you. As a place of work, Schechter provides what I hope is a wonderful work experience for its faculty and staff. Please stand if you work or have ever worked here at Schechter. On behalf of everyone, thank you all for caring so much about our children and for providing such a kind, wonderful, nurturing, and rigorous academic experience and more. As a community, the Schechter experience for parents and families is unique and unmatched. Please stand or wave your hand, whatever you'd like to do, if you have ever had a child attend Schechter. Wow, that's a lot of people. Okay, now, here comes the fun part. 2 children. Look, that's a lot of children. That's awesome. 3 children. Ariel, stand up. Stand up. Yeah, great. Really? It's like a large percentage. 4 children. Wow. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Robin and Rafi Santiago in the 4 children category, who are, I believe, in paradise, but watching the live stream. Hello. 5 children. That's it? 5 girls. Oh, no, sorry. Mazel tov to the Leshem family for that. Thank you so much to all the families for entrusting your children in this school. We all know that the experience of a child is not simply experienced by that child or even that child's parents. Please let us know if you have ever had a grandchild attend Schechter. Amazing. And one more, a grandchild and a child. Both a child and a grandchild. That's a lot of people. The Harrises, the Greenbergs who are here today, Bev of blessed memory, and the Neiditzes, I believe, are watching on live stream. Hello. It's just wonderful to have all these people who have been impacted by this school. Finally, please let us know if you ever felt personally impacted by the Schechter experience. Thank you. There are so many people responsible for creating the Schechter experience. There are people in this room who have been instrumental since way back when the school first opened its doors in 1971. There have been hundreds and hundreds of people crafting this experience for the past 52 years, and 7 of those people have served as its head of school. Rabbi Yoni Berger is completing his second year as our head. Not that funny. Completing his second year as our head of school. And as many of you have heard at his State of the School address just this past February, he is hard at work with the rest of the faculty and staff, continually shaping the Schechter experience. Please join me in welcoming Rabbi Yoni Berger.
Thank you, Jason, for the introduction, and even more for all of your leadership of the board and all that is done for Schechter. Good afternoon and Saharayim Tovim. It is wonderful to be here together to celebrate Schechter. I'm Yoni Berger. It's my honor and pleasure to serve as the head of school. My wife Laura and I came to West Hartford almost 2 years ago, along with our 4 children. Our 2 girls are in high school, and our twin boys are in the 3rd, 4th grade multi-age classroom at Schechter. We couldn't be happier to be proud of this amazing community. There are 250 people in attendance today. Your presence here is a tribute to many things, to our honorees, to the strength and commitment of our community, and to the hard work of the event committee who helped bring everyone together. I want to offer a special heartfelt thank you to our event co-chairs, Tali Kest and Gail Temkin, and to the members of our committee, Tiffany Blumenstein, Lauren Eisen, Ariel Kay, Riva LeWinter, Jane Resnick, Ben Shapiro, and Debbie Silverman. Thank you so much. Sandy Raymond, our front office manager, has put in countless hours alongside Sherry preparing for today. Thank you, Sandy. And none of what we accomplish at Schechter would be possible without the unbelievably dedicated work of Sherry Pliskin, our Director of Development. Sherry, your attention to both the big picture of this event and to every individual detail is what allowed us to come together in such style, celebrate our school with such excitement, and raise funds for tuition assistance with such success. I want to recognize the sponsors of this event and all who support the school. Your generosity enables us to provide ample tuition assistance, ensuring that a Schechter education is affordable to all of our families. We are truly grateful. I next want to recognize members of the Board of Trustees. They give of their time, expertise, and wisdom. They're entrusted with Schechter's mission and committed to its future. Thank you for your partnership and for all that you do. The Jewish Federation of Greater Hartford and the Jewish Community Foundation understand that strong Jewish day schools are essential to a strong Jewish future, and we are grateful for their leadership. Over half of our parent body is here, including many of our 23 new families, and still more are watching on Livestream. I want to express my gratitude to you, Schechter parents, for entrusting us with your children's education. You have many options out there, and you chose Schechter, and we never take that for granted. May we continue to grow and welcome more families to our school. And finally, I want to recognize Schechter's professional staff. First, our outstanding team of administrators works to ensure that curriculum and instruction, technology, finance, communications, admissions, and development are all operating at the highest level. Would our amazing admin team please stand for a moment and be recognized? And my last thank you. Schechter is blessed with an unbelievable group of teachers who help our students to think and question and create. In our classrooms, every child is loved and understood, encouraged and challenged. I would like to ask the Schechter faculty and staff to rise and be recognized. We'll hear more about our honorees in a few moments, but I wanted to share a quick Torah thought in their honor that relates to the title of this event. Karen Tuvin, our Leah Berson Award recipient, has been there day after day, year after year, building a sense of community among our parents and helping the school. Karen, the relationships you facilitated, the sense of welcome you have created, were not just one-time programs. They are ongoing, perpetual, consistent. And the Torah's word for ongoing, perpetual, and consistent is tamid. And Jenny and Rachel, in your professional work, you've inspired thousands of people in the retail world to think differently about community, connections, and experience. Because of your strong feelings for Schechter, you gave us the chance to honor you today. And as a result, you're inspiring everyone in the Schechter world as well. Ner means lamp. And you represent the way that at any moment, a lamp can go from offering its own light to igniting 1,000 more lights. Jenny and Rachel, you exemplify a Ner, and Karen Tamid, and together you say what today is all about. Thank you so much. Now, everyone here has joined our honorees to support Schechter. At our school, learning is rooted in discovery, connections, and creativity. Schechter students learn to be independent, and they also develop a sense of responsibility for their community and their society. The Torah they study inspires them to build their own Jewish life and their own Jewish path, their own connection to God and the Jewish people. They learn to think of themselves as creators and problem solvers. They are poised to build a beautiful future. And next year, when we dedicate the Scott Shoham Makerspace Design Studio, we will dramatically increase our students' abilities to imagine and design and build. Early tomorrow morning, our 6th graders are leaving for Alabama to bring their learning about the civil rights movement to life. And our 7th graders will travel to Washington, D.C. to explore our capital and what it represents. These journeys are the culmination of their work with an alliance of small Jewish day schools from throughout the country. By witnessing the past, they'll be inspired and empowered to become the leaders of tomorrow. And we are more than a school. The Schechter experience is multifaceted. We're a community that extends beyond our classrooms. Our current and alumni families support one another in good times and in hard times. The friendships built at Schechter endure for years. In the video, we're going to see members of the Schechter community talk about the impact of the Schechter experience. Thank you so much for your support. Together, we will continue to reach more families, teach more students, and build a vibrant future for our children and our children's future. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Yoni Berger, head of school and proud Schechter parent. Over the next few minutes, you'll have a chance to hear from members of our community about what makes the Schechter experience so special.
I love that Schechter gives every single child an opportunity to be part of the ambassador program, the student council, or extracurricular activities to make more friends and create a stronger bond between students.
What I love about being at Schechter is I gained many friends and the education is great here.
One of the things I love about Schechter is the friends I've made along the way.
What I love about Solomon Schechter is I can make new friends every day, and I love the wonderful teachers.
We love the community that we've built at Schechter. The middle school students get to come in and connect with my students, and that's the best.
When I was a kid, I loved having the older kids come and visit us. And now that I'm an ambassador, I get to be the one that the younger kids get excited to see.
What I love about Schechter, what I loved then and what I love now, is the way they really get to know each individual child and help them grow in ways that are important for them. So not only are they giving them an important Jewish background, but they look to see where the child's interests are, where their strengths are, where their weaknesses are, and they tailor the programming to the individual child so they grow and bloom, and it's just amazing to see.
Schechter embraces each student as their own, from respect, honesty, creativity, learning, the heart, everything.
My guiding values of inclusivity, pride in community, and service to others were instilled in me through my Jewish education at Schechter, having the opportunity to work alongside the educators who taught me Jewish values and leadership skills, and working with them to educate the next generation of Jewish students is incredible.
What is so special about being a teacher at Schechter is really getting to know each student on a personal level and seeing them grow and watching them become the young leaders of the future.
I feel very blessed that we were able to give our children an experience here at Schechter. They are happy, they are thriving, we have a community that is a home, and the education is stellar.
Didn't matter whether it was one of my teachers or a classmate or a younger or older student, you know everyone, which I think is a really valuable experience to have, to just be able to be a part of this amazing community.
The impact of a Schechter education is that children grow up being wonderful people, mensches, with a love of community and a love of Israel and Judaism, and I think that that's amazingly special.
The reason I care about Schechter more than any other organization really is that my kids and grandchildren, this is where they got their education, and I'm thankful for that. This is the foundation of where we learn to give together.
The values and the vision of Schechter, that's who our children are, and when I looked at that, I said, I want to come back and be part of it.
My family always supported education. It supported the Jewish values and traditions, the culture, staying together, being a community in good and bad times brings me a hope and optimism that no matter what happens in the world, we are always going to work toward the peace, and we are going to be dedicated to community, harmony, and love.
When your child comes to Schechter, it's not just your child, it's your whole family. And the PA's role is to make sure that you feel just as included at Schechter as your child does.
My name is Ron Pikus. I am the proud father of 4 Solomon Schechter Day School graduates. The last of them graduated in June of 2015. I've served 5 years in the Board of Trustees, 1 year as Vice President, and I'm working on a committee presently for Solomon Schechter. I'd like to talk about Kalal Yisrael, sense of community, one of our founding tenets. We experienced that, my family, in real time. As some of you know, my wife was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in March of 2014 and succumbed in November of 2016. From the moment this information was made public, through her remission, cancer's reoccurrence, hospice, funeral, 2 shivas, and to this very day, we have felt this sense of community. When we couldn't get out of our seats, Schechter helped us to stand. And when we couldn't put our first foot forward, the community helped us to walk again. In terms of volunteerism, sleepovers with my children, bountiful amounts of food, attendance at the funeral and the shivas. Families need this sense of community, whether they're celebrating a simcha or in a crisis. And it's no coincidence that when I look at my phone, the vast majority of my contacts are related to my experience with Solomon Schechter Day School. When this school asked me for a check, when they ask me for my time, I make it a priority. I'm asking you, my community, to think about families like mine who still benefit from this Kalal Yisrael. From my family to yours, thank you from the bottom of my heart.
I hope that these stories and testimonials give you a vivid sense of the Schechter experience and its impact on our students, families, and the broader community. We are so grateful for your support of our school. Your actions make all the difference.
Good afternoon, everybody. I apologize for my voice ahead of time, but hopefully this adds some inspiration to everybody. I saw the video early on when it was being put together piece by piece, and I hadn't seen it as a whole. And Ron and everybody here, it still hits so close to home of what the Schechter community is. We sit around the room here, and you're all here for a reason. But every person in this room has been touched by Schechter in a special way. And that's something that I want you to think about as I do my job. So first, for those of you here in the room, on the back of your program are instructions on how to text to donate. Everyone take out your program, please. Online, you will have on your screen now, at the very top of your screen, there's a button on the top right that says donate. So this for you is your shortcut. There's also a possibility for the QR code. If anyone needs to borrow my QR code right now, you're welcome to come up and take a photo of it. But I want everybody to put it on. I don't think it's gonna show up there, Sherry. Okay. This year, the QR code's supposed to make life a little easier for you. Those of you at home, if you have any questions, you have access to get to Sherry or to anybody else, and we can help you out. Just know 100% of your proceeds go to tuition assistance. This is what today's all about. Since COVID, there's so many families who just need help. They don't want to come forward, and some do, but they just need help. We have to figure out how to make sure that anybody who wants a Schechter education has the ability to come. So again, on the back of your program, if you type 41444 in the numbers field, and then in your message, type SSDS, how much you want to give, and your name, and then hit send. And if you haven't already seen your name going on the screen, we'd like to see more showing up on the screen. So today we celebrate 2 Schechter alumnae, Jenny and Rachel Shechtman. They have and continue to make their mark on the world. They received their Jewish foundation at Schechter and have translated these values in all they do in their life. We need to make Schechter education accessible to more children so they too can make their mark on the world for good. And how lucky are we that we have their father who sits on our board with us and is able to bring us back to what education was when they were in the school. And now we'd get to move forward the education for all your children, all your grandchildren. I was so impressed that there were parents who stood up whose children and grandchildren went to Schechter. Next year, I want to see more people sitting around the room raising their hand that their kids are here at Schechter, or their siblings, or their uncles and aunts have sent their kids here. Ron, I need to call you up for a minute. Something about community and being there for those in need, in good times and in bad. You are the one who makes that impact, and your story and your life and knowing Jody and the impact she had on my life and on every single person who was involved in Schechter. I just wanted to call you up and give you a hug.
If I could just steal the mic for a few seconds, I'm looking out and seeing some of the absolute mega donors in this community who have made this place a great community to raise a Jewish family in. And this is our opportunity to understand that SSDS is a jewel in this ecosystem, and no family should be considering money as an obstacle if they choose to go to Solomon Schechter Day School. So we're here today. No donation is too small, and no donation is too big to fit on our thermometer. So I want to thank the mega donors, all donors. I want to thank the parents, and just for one more second, I want to reach out to somebody whose uber competence, incredible organization, indefatigable nature, positive attitude. Sherry Spliskin. This is your baby. This is your baby. You should be a proud mama, and you're a rock star. Thanks, Gil.
On that note, anybody who's so inclined to make a donation in honor of Sherry right now, how about that? Let's keep those numbers going, everybody. I don't see what the total is. 19,791. We have a long way to go. You're making my voice strain a little bit up here. Karen, you are so about community. Really, everything you've done from the day I met you, touching into Schechter and really wanting to be part of it, everybody whose lives you've touched, thank you, because you have had such an impact as the PA president, as just a voice for the school, having your kids in school. Everybody, now's your chance to honor Karen, too. We need your support. We want and need to keep educating our students, our children, their children, the Jewish values, everything that they learn at Schechter. Our teachers who stood up. Can I ask you all one more time to stand up? Please, everybody, for your teachers. Let's go. Come on, everybody. Stand up. Now's your chance to donate for all the teachers. I may have outdone myself last year, but we're going to keep going. Right now, as I do when most of you have heard me speak before, I want to ask you to take a minute and look around the room. No. Look around the room. I'm not kidding this year. Look around the room, please. Look across the room. Spot somebody that you don't know, or spot someone that you do know. But don't forget to keep those phones going. Now look at the table next to you. Say hi to somebody that you haven't said hello to yet today, please. Go ahead, we'll give you a minute. Go ahead, I see some quiet tables. Introduce yourself. It's what community's all about, right? Sarah, I didn't see you say hi to someone at another table. Thank you. So now think about it. We're all connected by the Schechter experience. And thanks to Schechter, we are now all family. We have to do this together. We are doing so well at this school. We should be so proud of ourselves. So I ask you one more time to open up the QR code, type in, if you don't have the QR code, 41444. Type SSDS, type in your pledge amount, and your name. I believe mine has already gone up, but I'm not sure if we hit send. So keep it going. You still have an opportunity. We're not shutting this out. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Gail. Oh, sorry. Have you ever noticed that whenever you don't know how to talk, like with a full voice, everyone around you starts whispering too? I'm not going to do that, though. Thank you all. What an incredibly supportive community this is. For those wanting more of Gail, in addition to co-chairing this event and encouraging us, as she does so well, to give to Schechter, you can find her all over town, actively involved in the JCC, serving as the chair of the board of the Jewish Community Foundation, and so many more things that it's not even worth trying to list, but thank you so much. And once again, thank you to everyone who has participated thus far, both by being here and in this extra level of giving. Every time another donation comes in, I will partake, as I was instructed to do here. So, l'chaim. There's a whole bottle up here, by the way. Yeah, I know you did. You put it here. I know. It is evident that we are blessed to have such a supportive community. Under the guidance of our powerhouse, once again, Sherry Pliskin, both here at Ner Tamid and throughout the year, Schechter is striving to raise funds for so many things. First and foremost, it is simply true that the more funds that are brought in, the more families can experience Schechter. And our recent fundraising efforts have done even much more than that. Last year, we introduced the Zach's Mortgage Match, which enabled us to raise nearly $500,000 and completely retire the mortgage. We celebrated that accomplishment just over an hour ago with a reception honoring Henry Zachs, along with the entire Zachs family and the generous donors who contributed to make that effort a reality. Thank you all once again. We would not be in our building for the last 40 years without the vision and financial commitment of Blanche and Stephen Goldenberg, Arnold and Bev Greenberg, and the Savin family many decades ago. So thank you all. Beyond the many people who continuously give their financial support, we are extremely blessed with countless volunteers giving of their time and experience in so many ways. 6 years ago, one such person was honored for her years of time going above and beyond. Our former head of school, Andrea Casper, said to me, quote, "Leah Berson was a volunteer on her own level. We wanted to recognize her, and simply giving her an award was not enough." And that led to the creation of the Leah Berson Award for Excellence in Volunteerism. Leah Berson is there for anyone at any time. She created the Schechter Lunch Program as we know it today, complete with salad bar, and ran it for years as a volunteer. And from what I'm told from somebody in this room who knows her well, Mitzvah is your middle name. And now, for the first time since that award was debuted 6 years ago, we're excited to recognize and thank another individual who has risen to that level. As someone who considers myself good friends with Karen Tuvin, I could go on and on about her and what she has done for this community, both here at Schechter and at other organizations, but I'm sure you're tired of me. So please join me in welcoming to the stage the namesake of the Leah Berson Award for Excellence in Volunteerism, Leah Mitzvah Berson.
All right, I'm having a lot of Schechter nostalgia today, I must say. Karen. Okay, come on. I got to talk to you. Well, I made it up. I don't know. Nobody told me what we're doing. Is that okay, Sherry? All right. Okay. Karen, we share a lot in common. We both have twins. We both drive a Sienna minivan. We both have a love of all things Schechter. And luckily, we both have husbands and families who support our volunteer efforts. I know Schechter means as much to you as it does to me. A lifeline for your family, the place where your children have grown up and learned to be mensches, and where many great friendships are formed and continue to this day. When my kids graduated from Schechter 4 years ago, you were the president of the PA. Fast forward 4 years later, I can't believe it's 4 years later, and you are still the president of the PA. This is it. In fact, you have served in this role for 6 years now, and I do believe that is a Schechter record. As the PA president, you wear many hats, and wow, you wear them well. It's amazing how you approach every situation with a smile on your face and share laughter and a genuine kindness with everyone you encounter, whether it be other parents, staff and teachers, or the students of Schechter. You are the go-to person when a new Schechter family requires a warm welcome, and you're generous in combining your PA role with your professional role as Realtor to assist these new families in acclimating not only to Schechter, but to the town of West Hartford. You've been involved since the day you stepped in the door. I know firsthand that being the PA president means a lot of hours spent at Schechter, whether it's behind the scenes planning or actively working at events such as the book fair, packing Purim baskets, or working the end of the year picnic, and you do it all so seamlessly. You're a regular at Relish, and you maintain Schechter as a top priority in your everyday activities. You have a hand in everything and are responsive and ready to say yes or perform a mitzvah. Another thing in common, we're going to have the same middle name, mitzvah. I vividly remember attending, I'm calling it PTO, but it's PA meetings in your basement, serving lunches with you, and during COVID, your family hosting Shabbat and holiday services in your backyard for many weeks. Your level of commitment, not just to Schechter, but to other Jewish organizations in the community, including Bethel and the JCC, is to be commended. You're a treasure among us and embody what it means to be a person of action and devotion to organizations that are meaningful to you and your family. Even though this award is officially named the Leah Berson Award for Excellence in Volunteerism, I truly believe a mistake has been made and it should be renamed the Karen Tuvin Award for Excellence in Volunteerism.
It's all yours.
You have taken your dedication and volunteer work at Schechter to the next level and have redefined what this award represents, and in no doubt have surpassed me. I am honored to present you with this well-deserved award. Thank you. Is this it under here? All right. You're up. Thank you.
I don't think I've ever had a standing ovation before. Thank you. Thank you, Leah. I am truly honored. I love Schechter, the Parent Association, teachers, the administrators. I really am so appreciative. So I just want to thank everybody for your support, your friendship, and really your confidence in me. It was the day before winter break, and I get a phone call from Sherry Pliskin. She asked me if I could come in later that day. I was not alarmed by this phone call because I'm frequently asked to come to school for one reason or another. But I explained that Alan was home that day and we were running errands. Sherry responded by saying, "Great, bring him too." So Alan and I showed up at school a couple hours later. As we were getting out of the car, Alan turned to me and said, "Say no. Whatever it is, say no. Be strong." Contrary to what Alan and my children will tell you, I'm not actually good at saying no, which is probably why I'm standing here today. And I am especially not good at saying no to Schechter. In fact, when it comes to Schechter, I almost always say yes. Alan and I knew that we would send our children to Schechter. We were living in South Windsor when our children were born, and we were so excited the first time we toured the school. We heard Hebrew and singing, and I know I cried as I walked down the hallway thinking that one day my children would experience this wonderful place. What we did not count on was the traffic jam on the way home, and what we thought would be a half an hour commute quickly turned to an hour. We knew we could not do that every day. Thus, we started our West Hartford house hunt the very next week. And we are so glad we said yes to moving and yes to Schechter. Alan will tell you he loves the academic side of Schechter, the individual attention, the interactive group projects, the research preparation, the critical thinking, and the constant writing. I like the Hebrew, the Israel education, the davening, and most important, our Schechter community. The next time I said yes to Schechter was to volunteer for lunch. I really had no idea what that job entailed, but I thought it would be a good way to see my kindergartner in the middle of the day. It was also the first time I met Leah Berson. I met Leah where I assume most Schechter parents met Leah, in the Schechter kitchen. I was immediately impressed at the way that Leah knew all the kids' names, and she knew what they liked and did not like. I was in awe, thinking that I could never do that. And I learned I was right. I cannot. I was there when Leah was awarded the Leah Berson, I'm just going to call it the Leah Berson Award because it's long. I was so proud and grateful for all the years that Leah said yes to Schechter. I can assure you it never occurred to me as I watched my friend receive her award that I would be next, and I'm touched beyond measure. To all the people who came before me, all the past presidents, all the volunteers, those I've met and those I've never met, thank you for saying yes. You have provided the Parent Association with a strong foothold and as an example of what to do. And while I have said yes to Schechter, so have you. The people here today and the people on Zoom. Hi. Thank you for coming on Sunday mornings to make mishloach manot bags, for baking thousands of hamantaschens. Thank you for working the book fair, for picking up challah on Friday mornings, for helping to organize and clean up at school picnics and functions. Thank you for helping with Teacher Appreciation Weeks. Thank you for volunteering to bring food to Shiva houses and for baby namings. And thank you for just saying yes when we ask for help. And to the future parents of Schechter, I hope that you say yes. Sending our children to Schechter is a privilege for which I am so grateful. It does not come without sacrifice, but by showing up and saying yes, we ensure that the community and the school that we love remains the wonderful, nurturing environment for which we are so proud. And before I step down and take my award with me, I'd like to thank my family, Tashira, Rami, and Tali. I know it's not always easy to get voluntold by me to do a lot of extra things at Schechter. Sometimes that means staying late at school or coming in earlier on weekends. You generally do this without too much complaining, and I know that you know, at the end of the day, it's all about you. And thank you for Alan, to being the man behind the woman. You are my partner, my rock, and my everything. I love you. And I want to say to my parents, my aunt and uncle, and my brother who all traveled to be here today, my heart is full, and Grandma would be proud. This last part is very important. While I am receiving the Leah Berson Volunteer Award today, I am not one person. This is not an award for one person. This is a great acknowledgement of everyone in the Schechter Parent Association in the past, in the present, and the future. You all help to keep our Schechter Ner Tamid lit. Thank you.
don't know how to follow that, but Karen, Mazel Tov. Mazel Tov. And thank you to Alan and to the Tuvin children, not only for what they do for the whole community, but for also supporting Karen, as she said, and all she does. It does take a family. Mazel Tov. Sure. Yeah. What Karen and many other volunteers do is all with the goal of building a long-lasting community. At the core of this community is the school and its students. Our Schechter students eventually become Schechter alum, and then they go out into the world with everything they have gained through Schechter, and they change the world of retail. At least some of them change the world of retail. Our two Ner Tamid recipients embody so much of what it means to be a Schechter alum. Both Rachel and Jenny Shechtman got their start in the business world right here in West Hartford at Nancy's, a store owned and operated by their mother, Sheila. That Sheila is a hint for the error in the program, in case you haven't found it yet. You're welcome. They would both help out there doing all sorts of things around the place, working the register, bringing in their friends, and more. When I asked if they ever helped with the cooking, I was told, quote, "Oh God, no." That was for legal reasons, but it still fit. Taken out of context, it's very funny. Rachel has never been shy, described by a fellow Schechter student as, quote, "not a quiet kid in the class." Rachel has used her voice and confidence to get what she wants. After a year's worth of unanswered phone calls to Costco, she got Costco to become the largest account at GiftCorp, the family business making and sending gift baskets nationwide. She also got the senior buyer from 1-800-Flowers to come and check out their place. And there are a ton of stories like this, like the time that she called 5 times a day to some higher-up person at Apple, and finally got that person on the phone, invited them out for coffee, and had to go on a plane to take that person out for coffee across the country. You're not a shy one. And as I've heard so many times, Jenny is the glue that holds together and executes the creative. The accounts I mentioned before, Jenny managed them and kept them happy year after year. She ran all aspects of the operations for Story, their New York City narrative-driven retail store whose theme, products, and displays changed every few weeks or months. I understand some of those words. I wrote those words. I don't really know what that means, but it sounds amazing. After Story was acquired by Macy's, Jenny opened up 36 of them across the country. As a duo, Jenny and Rachel have been quite the team and have been recognized with numerous awards, including Fortune's 40 Under 40 list, Fast Company's Most Creative People in Business, and many more. And be sure to check out Rachel's TED Talk. I surprised myself and understood part of that TED Talk, and I invite and encourage you all to go home after this and look it up. It's very easy to find, www.tinyurl.com/literally the best TED Talk ever. That will work. Go to it. It's there. Again, that was tinyurl.com/literally the best TED Talk ever. But rather than hear more from me, I'd like to introduce you to their parents, Sheila and Dick Shechtman. They chose to send their children to Schechter from day one. Sheila told me, quote, "Solomon Schechter helped us create the kinds of daughters we have today. They love to learn to be Jewish. They learn what caring for other people is about. I truly feel Schechter gave them the foundation and the pride of being Jewish, and for that, I'm grateful." Before welcoming Dick and Sheila to the stage, please turn to the screens and enjoy.
What made Schechter special is then and all the way through their lives, Rachel and Jenny are proud to be Jewish.
In terms of Schechter honoring Rachel and Jenny, the thing I'm most proud about that as a trustee and as a parent is that I see the telling of Rachel and Jenny's story with the hope that it motivates maybe one family out there who's trying to do what we did 40 some odd years ago, and that is to provide our children with an opportunity to experience Jewish values, the sense of Jewish family, and all of what those values mean in life going forward. And hopefully there's someone out there that heard about Rachel and Jenny and their story and would join Schechter.
Oh, I would go for more than one family.
Please join me in welcoming proud parents, Dick and Sheila Shechtman.
So thank you all for coming today to support Solomon Schechter and to help us celebrate our girls. Over the years, people have asked us many times, why Solomon Schechter? Why do we send our kids to Schechter? Well, Dick and I were lucky enough to have grandparents from the old country, first-generation immigrants, who taught us about Judaism. The culture, the values, the traditions, the holidays, the rituals, and really Jewish identity. So we felt that we could not do that for them the way our grandparents did it for us. So of course, Schechter was the choice. Fast forward to 1989. Through the Federation, we and 6 other wonderful families put together a family mission for 14 days to Israel. And we had the joy of bat mitzvahing Rachel on the top of Masada at sunrise. And it was a very, very wonderful time. We closely bonded with all the families. Arnold Greenberg and Dana are here, and Bethy Abrams, Appelman, there you are. We're part of that group. After the mission, Dick and I plan on taking Rachel and Jenny to Paris for 4 days. We thought that would be really wonderful. So the day before we were ready to leave, the girls came into our hotel room and they asked, do we really need to go to Paris? Dick and I were shocked, stunned, bewildered. And we asked, why? So they walked over to the window of our hotel room, and they pointed out their finger of this beautiful Tel Aviv beach, swarming with families, and said to us, these are our people. These are our people. Solomon Schechter gave Rachel and Jenny what our grandparents gave to us. We are very grateful.
After hearing what our 12 and 10-year-old young ladies said, is there any question that we didn't go to Paris? We stayed in Israel for another week. This affinity by Rachel and Jenny to wanting to stay connected to our culture and community was the beginning of a pattern that Sheila and I started to see. And that pattern continues to this very day. What I'd love to share with you today is just a few examples with you at face value that may not sound like much, but they symbolically mean a great deal to our family. These are moments that we know would not have happened had it not been what Schechter instilled in Rachel and Jenny. The first one was a time when they were in college, when Rachel and Jenny were traveling through South America. Sheila received a call from them with a request that caught us both off guard. Sheila had extended family living in Argentina who had immigrated there from the old country in the mid-20th century to escape anti-Semitism in Europe. The girls knew about them. All that the girls knew about them was that they were our relatives in Argentina. They asked Sheila for contact information for these relatives. Rachel and Jenny not only contacted these relatives, but ended up staying with them. and they forged a lasting connection with that part of the family for which we are incredibly grateful. We wouldn't have had it without them. A second example was, this is just a few Decembers ago, when I get a message a text from Jenny, which says that we're going to do a FaceTime call with you and Mom. When we answered their FaceTime, Rachel and Jenny had a menorah set up and told us they wanted to light the candles together. This is something we had not done together as a family for many years. To see our adult girls carrying on a family tradition and then want to share it with us was extraordinarily special for Sheila and me. I'm sorry. Those of you who know me, the happier it is, the easier it is for me to cry. And finally, this past New Year's, Sheila and I were in Charleston with Rachel and Jeff, her fiance, for a conference to celebrate the new year. Seemingly out of nowhere, Rachel came up to us and said, "Did you know that the oldest continuously operating synagogue is here in Charleston? Let's go to Shabbat services." And we did. What a wonderful, unique experience. We raised our family to live and celebrate our Judaism through culture, tradition, and community, but not necessarily religiously. We can consider ourselves cultural Jews who are not particularly religious. We do not celebrate Shabbat regularly. We attend synagogue largely only on the high holidays or for Yortzeit. We break the fast and have a Seder. What happened is that after we celebrated that Shabbat service, we realized that as families who culturally we were Jewish but not religiously strong practitioners, we decided that as standing up here as the proud parents of Rachel and Jenny, to celebrate this particular honor that they're receiving is certainly something that we could never have imagined, the feeling that it would create. And for that, we are extremely prideful. And for that, we want to thank Schechter, Solomon Schechter, for what they've done to make that happen. And we want to thank all of you for sharing this with us. Thank you.
Mazel tov, and thank you. I have one more note, just I love this story so much. Sheila mentioned their mission to Israel, and I just want to note that on that trip, Jenny and Rachel were 2 of about 10 kids on that trip, and as a result of that, they hired some help to watch the children of a young Israeli who became like a sister to them, and over the course of these 30 years. And Mirav came here and surprised Rachel and Jenny at this event, so it is so nice to see you. Welcome. Thank you. Jenny Shechtman and Rachel Shechtman, please come join us up here. Mazel tov. The Ner Tamid Award reads, Alumna, either Rachel or Jenny Shechtman, in recognition of her outstanding accomplishments from the Solomon Schechter Day School of Greater Hartford, Mazel tov. Thank you for representing Schechter out in the world. We're very proud to call you alum of our school, and Mazel tov.
Thank you.
You guys are up next.
I could never work with my sister. If I worked with my sister, I would kill her. It would be an absolute disaster if I worked with my sister. If my sister and I worked together, we would likely end up never speaking again. How many times have you heard that? Hundreds of times. Hundreds of times. Well, we didn't. But I will say this is the first, because we've never actually ever spoken together. So we'll see how this goes.
Jason, is the bottle still down?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't kill each other, even though there were many, many times where we both thought about it seriously. And it wasn't a disaster. And the reason why is largely connected to why we are here for this beautiful honor today. But before we get into that, a little bit about our journey. We both started in Schechter, in this building, in fact, in the early 80s. And we're here through middle school, Rachel leaving in 1989 and me in 1990. We went our separate ways for high school and college, and after college and 2 years apart, we both ended up in New York.
I ended up as an accidental consultant. I spent 10 years doing marketing and merchandising and business development for fashion brands, retailers.
And I ended up discovering I had a proclivity for operations, where I learned that you could make money by telling people what to do, when to do it, how to do it. That's it.
And in 2011, after a decade of consulting and seeing all of these startups and people launching new businesses online, I was like, if we're the same people who live offline, why aren't we reinventing business in the real world? And so we're 4 generations of retail, thank you, Mom. And I had this idea for a new store concept. And the idea for Story was, what if you put content and commerce and community in a bottle, and it expressed itself in the form of a store that would change every month. So like a magazine is different every month, you would walk into Story. One month it might be Wellness Story, and you would see healthy cookbooks and a heart rate monitor. We could have yoga on the weekends or a panel on the future of healthcare. And then next month it might be Made in America Story. But to be clear, it wasn't just a couple things that changed. Like in a 2,000 square foot store, we changed every single product, every single fixture in the store design. I am not the operational one. So after 3 months at like around 4:30 in the morning, a message went out to Jenny being like, hey, you wanna like leave Mom's business for a little and help me out?
8 years later.
So after 8 years, we reimagined Story over 40 times. So to give you an idea, that's like opening up 40 stores in 8 years. Fast forward to 2018, we had the great fortune of selling the company to Macy's, where we went and worked for a couple years. Jenny opened up 36 stores across the country on the same day. And then towards the end, we had the joy of launching a new retail concept that was 20,000 square feet in Southlake, Texas. But then
global pandemic, which threw a wrench into some things. Another story for another day. But we are here today, and we've both been reflecting a lot about how our time at Schechter contributed to our journey, both in our relationship with each other and the business that we ran together. And we both, in our own ways, came to the same very simple conclusion. Outside of what came from the monsters who raised us, and you saw them, you know, Schechter is the foundation for our values, the extension of which has had a profound impact individually and together on our personal and professional lives. Simply, community,
Klal Yisrael,
wisdom,
Chochmah,
and kindness,
Lev Tov,
good job, thanks, are the lens through which both of us have made decisions, and very simply, the secret to the success of our business.
It was Schechter where community became more than a word for each of us. Where are those 8th graders? Raise your hands. I want to see you guys. Okay, get off your phone for 5 seconds. So here's the deal, right? I went to middle school, when I left Schechter, I went from like 12 kids in my class. Ari and I are debating what 12 or 16. I think it's 12. And I went to a class, right, that had like 90 kids. And I was like, when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, I'm totally missing out. Like, they have so many more kids. You can have crushes on so many more people. Like, I couldn't have crushes on people. These were brothers and sisters, right? When you go to school with that few people, you're family. But the older I got, I realized, like, there's no cold calling, there's no community, there's none of it without the foundation of those 12 kids. And like going off script, I called Ari for the first time in 15 years this morning just to say, Ari Santiago, who's a parent and was my classmate, and I called him this morning because I was so excited to see him today. And I haven't spoken to him for 15 years, and he gets off the phone and he goes, see you later, Rach. That doesn't happen when you go to school with 90 kids. It happens when you're at Solomon Schechter. It was Schechter where we first felt the fruits of curiosity and deep learning, and to be embedded in a place that fostered and empowered us to do what made a difference. And it was Schechter where we experienced the power of kindness and its contagious nature.
At Story, we built and fostered community. Oh my gosh, it's the Dick Shechtman disease. At Story, we built and fostered a community through passion and authenticity. At Story, we became a platform for sharing information and experiences in a wholly democratic manner. Shout out Maggie. And at Story, every single decision we made was done so with the intention to do the right thing in the best interest of the hundreds of employees and partners that we had over the many years.
We are profoundly grateful for this Ner Tamid honor and to have the opportunity, indulgence frankly, to share with you the role that Schechter played in our lives. But more than anything, we are simply the luckiest girls alive to be the daughters of Dick and Sheila Shechtman. Love you. Thank you.
Rachel.
Stay.
Stay. Okay.
Because now I have the Dick Shechtman disease too. I can't keep my eyes dry. First of all, mazel tov.
Thank you.
Now, if this isn't a reason to help us break $100,000 today, I don't know what is. Okay? We had a goal of $30,000. We are now at $76,000. This is community. I'm a graduate of Schechter. I feel like they're older mother, sister, whatever you want to call it. And my kids who are here are like the younger sisters. We're part of a family when you're part of Schechter. I ask you each, even if each of you around the room gave another $100, we'll break $100,000. It's never been done. Please, this is your chance to keep it going. I'm sorry, I know I'm annoying. The voice is going to get worse. But for these two here who've built their story and created a story, Schechter has such an impact and such a purpose behind that story. And thank you to Dick and Sheila for having the same wherewithal that my parents had and that my husband and I had for sending our kids to a school that makes your life what it is, not changes your life to be something different. Please, everyone, now's your chance. Thank you.
Thank you.
I still don't like it.
I know, don't take it.
Jenny and Rachel, mazel tov. That was amazing. Also, like 76 is a lot of this. I don't know. What an extraordinary program this has been. Mazel tov to Karen Tuvin, Jenny Shechtman, Rachel Shechtman. One more time, one more mazel tov. Once again, we'd like to send a huge thank you to all those serving on the event committee, all of the event sponsors, and to all of the many, many supporters of Schechter that give so much to ensure a vibrant and successful school. Thank you to our Ner Tamid chairs, Tali Kest and Gail Temkin, to the Board of Trustees, including Dick, with whom I like to work, even Dick. He gives me like a lot all the time, so I have to give him a little bit in person. Thank you to the Jewish Community Foundation and to the Jewish Federation of Greater Hartford. Thank you to my amazing, perfect, and stunning wife, Ariel, whose impact on youth, both professionally and everywhere else, makes me strive to be a better person. Thank you to our head of school, Rabbi Yoni Berger, the outstanding faculty and staff here at Schechter, and to all the families that trust Schechter to educate their children. And of course, join me once more in thanking our Director of Development responsible for today, Sherry Pliskin. And finally, thank you all. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining us here at the Emanuel. Thank you to all of those watching on Livestream. It is great to be together. Please stick around to enjoy a dessert reception and to simply schmooze as one big community. I wish you all a good night, and go Huskies.